This is brother Yair. Right, coming back at you with another video. Right, first and foremost, I'm gonna give all honor and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, right, the Heavenly Father, and His Son, that the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, Yahweh Shai. Right. So, brothers and sisters can see from the topic of the video what we're gonna be touching on. Right, it says, how do you know if you fall out the truth, and how can you bring yourself back up? Right. So a lot of brothers and sisters, they might not be knowing how they could be falling away very slowly, right, without them even knowing. Right, they could be just falling away, don't know how they're falling away, don't know, they're not paying attention and so forth on the little things that's making them kind of slip, right? Actually, I want to get this one precept. Right, our people just don't know. Some of our brothers and sisters just don't know and don't realize because they're being ignorant to the fact of, the little things that they're doing, right? Not reading, not praying, not studying, not fasting, right? And they can slowly push them away from the Most High, right? Just real quick. This is Sirach, chapter 5, and I'm going to start at verse 7. Make no tarrying to turn to the Lord, and put not off day to Slaki, and put not off from day to day, for suddenly shall wrath of the Lord come forth, and in security thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance. So you can be putting off day to day, right? Putting off from you reading, putting off you from studying, right? Putting off on the usual things you used to do, right? Putting in alms, right? Calling that brother, exhorting brothers and sisters. You putting that stuff off and doing your own thing, right? That can be you slowly, losing the spirit, man. You slowly falling out of this thing, right? You can't be having that type of spirit in these last days, right? We are living in the last days and we cannot have those type of spirits on us, man. Right? Let me get another one. That's the one. Gosh, Shalaki, that's not what I want. But let's get to this next precept. And brothers and sisters gotta check themselves when they know that they're in the wrong. They gotta check themselves when they know they're feeling that they're losing the spirit, man. Right? And you're gonna be called weak, Salaki. Bear with me. Look at some Proverbs. This is Proverbs chapter 24 and verse 10. And it says, if thou faint in the day of adversity, thy strength is small. And even when you faint in the day of adversity, right, letting yourself go, right, falling away, right, not actually pursuing the things that you're supposed to be doing in this truth, and you just falling away slowly day by day, your strength is gonna be called small, man, in that day. And you don't want to be having your strength being beaten down, right, or being down to small and so forth because you wasn't doing what you were supposed to do in these last days, right? Keeping the faith, right? Fasting, praying, doing all the things you can do to magnify the name of the Lord, right? And then you're slowly not even doing that, right? You're not calling on the Lord, right? You're not giving him his praise, right? For the things that he do, waking you up in the morning, right? Getting you to work safely, getting you home safely, right? You just slowly and decreasing, man. Right? And you don't want to slowly decrease from the Lord, right? Shalaki. I had another one. Right. This is Sirach, right? Chapter 2. I want to jump down. Real quick. All right. This is Sirach chapter 2 and verse 12. It says, woe be to fearful hearts and faint hands, right? So our people that have fearful hearts and faint hands, right? Faint hands are going into, keep doing this work, man. Doing this work, and you not actually, pursuing to continue to do this work in this truth, man. You having faint hands, and now you're falling out. Now you're doing the things of this world and so forth, right? And the sinner that goeth two ways, right? You're going two ways instead of going the one path, the one way, right? You're going to different ways now. Right now you don't know what to do, right? Woe unto him that is faint-hearted, right? For he believeth not. Right now, our people that's not believing in the truth or believing in the Lord anymore, having a faint heart, right now they don't believe. They don't believe. And you don't want to be like that, right? You don't want to fall away, right, and have a faint heart and not believe the Most High in these last days, man. Right? That's a bad spirit to have. That's you knowing that you're falling away slowly, right? Therefore shall he not be defended. And you won't be defended in that day, right? When you're starting to fall away, when you start not to believe in the Lord no more, you won't be defended in that day, right? Woe unto you that have lost patience, right? And woe unto you that lost patience, man. You losing the patience, waiting for the Lord and the salvation of the Lord, but you just couldn't wait. You couldn't wait no longer. You couldn't wait no longer. You just was impatient, and you was like, you know what? I don't think the Lord coming back as soon as we believed. I'm gonna just go ahead and do my thing real quick. That's off. You gotta really check yourself when you have those thoughts, man. Dive in these accounts, man, and start cutting yourself spiritually. Right? As soon as you start reading these accounts, you're gonna start cutting yourself spiritually, man. Because you know those thoughts that you had was wrong. Right? Reading on. And what will ye do when the Lord shall visit you? And what are you gonna do in that day, man? Right? When the Lord get up with you. Because you didn't want to be patient, because you wanted to fall away and do your own thing, man. Right? What are you gonna do in that day? Just like the way how the Lord gave those talents unto those men, right? Two of them was, doing their thing, but the last one, he wrapped it up in a napkin, digged a hole, and put that talent in the hole, man, until his Lord came back. And then the other two was blessed, but the one he was shamed because he didn't want to do what he had to do in this truth. That's essentially you falling away, right, with the talents and so forth that the Lord gave you and not doing nothing with it. That's off, right? Especially you brothers and sisters that have so many talents, right? So many gifts that the Lord gave you, and you just threw it up and just say, hey, that's it, man. I'm not doing nothing. Right? I can't wait no longer. Essentially, your brothers and sisters don't have no patience, man. They don't have no faith. They don't have no faith in the Lord, right? Shalaki. All right. So let's keep going through the spirit. All right. I'm gonna get this in Psalms. Shalaki. Bear with me. This next precept. All right. This is Psalms 24 and verse. I'm gonna start at verse. Shalaki. Actually, I'm gonna come back to this. I didn't want this yet. I went too far. All right. Let me get this in Zechariah. Right. So essentially, that's all, afflictions and so forth that the Lord is putting you through, right? And you just got to be, ready for the test, man. Right? Some people are going to, prevail. Some people are going to be able to fight against those things, and some others are just going to fall away, right? This is Zechariah chapter 13, verse 9. And I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried, right? And the Lord is trying us right now, right? So that's why so many brothers and sisters are going through it right now, right? And you're gonna find out who is His chosen in that day, right? You can clearly see it by seeing, the people that's falling out and not coming back, and the people that still staying and enduring. You're gonna find out. You're gonna see who's His chosen, right? Because He called many, but only few was His chosen, right? Roughly paraphrasing, right? So we have to continue to go through this fire, right? It doesn't matter what you're going through, right? It's not worse than what our forefathers went through. You really gotta sit back and think about that. It's not worse than what our forefathers were going through. The things that you're going through now is nothing compared to what our forefathers went through. So you really got to think about that, right? They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, this is my people, and they shall say, the Lord is my God, right? So we got to essentially be put through the fire for the Lord's name's sake, man. Right? Don't just think that you're just going through these things just to go through these things, going through the motions. No, you're going through these things for the Lord's name, right? To be called His people, to be called His chosen, right? You don't want to fall away because you just couldn't believe anymore, because you couldn't continue to keep the faith, right? And essentially, when you fall, you got to get back up, man. You have to get back up, right? Don't stay down on the ground saying that I can't get back up. That's essentially showing that you're showing your weakness, right? You're showing your weakness and you're not wanting to get back up, man. That's off, right? I'm actually gonna get that real quick. Shalaki, bear with me. I'm on this one precept. But if I can't get it, let's move on. this one precept escaped me real quick. That's cool. We're just gonna move on. Let's go back to Psalms, right? This is Psalms, chapter 34, and verse 4. I sought the Lord, and he heard me and delivered me from all my fears, right? And essentially, you could be afraid, right, of the things that you're going through, right? And you're thinking that you're not going to be able to get out of it, right? But you have to go to the Lord, man. You have to call upon the Lord to get you out of those things, right? And that's the problem. When our people stop believing, right, they don't have nothing to go to. Now they're just back in the world because they didn't want to, go to the Lord and call upon him. We have to go to the Lord and call upon him in these last days, man. We have to. Because if you're not, then essentially you're going to fall out. But if you come and call upon the Lord, he's going to help you. He's going to be your defense. That's what he's there for. That's what he's there for. You have to go back upon to the Lord, man. Right? Let's jump down. I'm going to jump down to verse. Actually, I'm going to keep going. Actually, I'm going to jump down to verse 6. It says, this poor man cry, right? And we're going to be, poor. We're poor, really. Right? We're poor as a people. But this poor man cried, and the Lord heard him and saved him out of all his troubles, right? So he can save you out of all your troubles if you just call upon him, right? If you call upon him and you seek him, he's going to save you out of those things, man. Don't be weak-minded, right? And think that the Lord is not going to help you in that day. Because that's the problem with a lot of our people. They be weak-minded and they don't want to follow the Lord no more. They don't believe. They don't have the faith. They don't have the trust. And that's essentially showing you how they're falling out. But you have to be the one to follow after the Lord. You have to have your faith in him. That's the key. That's the key of getting out of here, man. Is having your faith in the Lord, man. Right? I'm going to jump down. It says, this is verse 17. The righteous cry, and the Lord heareth, and delivereth them out of all their troubles. Right? And the Lord is going to deliver you out of your troubles if you cry and call upon him. You have to pray unto him. He put those things unto you for you to call upon him. Right? And I know a lot of people don't like to hear that certain thing. Where like, why would my God put these things on me, knowing that I can't deal? Look, man. The Lord know you can go through it. The Lord wouldn't put that on you if he didn't know you couldn't handle it. Essentially, he's separating the sheeps and the goats, right? He's seeing who is his real flock in these last days, man. So he's going to tell if you're going to be following him faithfully or if you're not, right? Let's get this last one in this chapter, verse 19. It says, many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivereth him out of all of them, right? So it's going to be many afflictions on the righteous, many afflictions, right? It's all up to you if you're going to continue to endure throughout those afflictions and not be weak-minded and fall away from the Most High God, right? I'm going to get this. Let's go Sirach 20. Shalaki. This is Sirach, chapter 25 and verse. Start verse 3. It says, if thou hast gathered nothing in thy youth, how canst thou find anything in thy age? right? And you have to go through certain things, right? You have to you know experience certain things in this truth, because if you don't, how are you going to be able to combat those certain things in your life if you didn't have that experience, right? So when you go through these things, you have to take it cheerfully. You have to see it as a learning uh, uh, opportunity. You have to look at these things like, don't look at these things carnally, but look at these things spiritually, right? And you got to give all praise and honor to the Most High, because He's making you go through these certain things, because later in your life, you might go through that same thing. Now you know how to combat that. Now you know how to, move a certain way because you already experienced it before. You need to go through these things, right? Salaki. Right? And that's what a lot of our people, they don't want to go through anything, right? Essentially, a lot of our people don't want to go through anything, right? But we have to, though. We are children in this truth, and we have to learn in certain situations, right? Like even with our elders, man. Our elders, without our elders going through the certain things they went through, right? Coming up in their youth and so forth, and now in their old age, we go to them, right, for a lot of things, man. Without them, how we know certain things? How will we know, how to move about and do certain things without our elders not going through what they had to go through, right? Even with your child, right? Your child is going to come to you asking you questions on how to move about certain things, right? With certain how to pay bills, or how to buy this, how to buy that, how to do this, how to do that, what to stay away from, not to go near, right? You have to go through these things, right? You have to go through afflictions. You have to go through trials and tribulation, right? Let's get Sirach. Sirach 34. Salaki. Sirach 34. And I'm gonna start at verse 10. It says, He that haveth no experience knoweth a little, but he that traveleth to but he that have travailed is full of prudence, right? So the same person that went through so much, right, is full of prudence, right? Is full of, experience and so forth, right? Knowing what to do and not to do. But the ones that have little experience, right, they don't know as much. They don't know as the next man what to do when they're going through certain things. What precepts to go to, right? What precepts to help lift them back up when they're in that certain, affliction, right? So you got to be really grateful that you're going through those certain things, because that helps you, how can I say it? That helps you get you through certain things, man, in that time of affliction, right? All right, I'm gonna keep reading. It says, "When I travailed," right, verse 11. When I travailed, I saw many things, and I understand more than I expressed. Right. So you going through these many things, you seeing these many things, and now you understand why you went through those things. Right. A lot of people that have less experience on what life is, they're not going to understand it, but you will. Right. That's the whole purpose. All praise the Most High God. Right. Let's go to Sirach 30. Right. Right. Sirach 30. in verse 21. And before we read this too, a lot of our people will be beating themselves up within themselves, right? Not knowing, you know, you have to go through these things. Bring yourself in your own counsel, right? You don't want to do that. Because if you do that, that's going to push you away from actually wanting to serve the Most High God, right? It's Sirach chapter 30 and verse 21. Give not over thy mind to heaviness, and afflict not thy soul in thy own counsel, right? You don't want to afflict yourself in your own counsel, man. You don't want to give yourself to your own heaviness, right? Because you just couldn't endure, just because you couldn't, keep your mind or keep yourself, how can I say it? Salakia. To keep yourself level-minded, right? You just couldn't do it. Right now you bring yourself in your own counsel and own heaviness, afflicting yourself, overthrowing yourself. You don't want to do that, right? Let's keep reading. It says, the gladness of the heart is the life of man, and the joyfulness of a man prolongeth his days, right? You want to continue to live in joyfulness, right? You don't want to bring yourself down to stress, right? Depression, because that stuff can kill men. When you look it up, right? When you look it up, stress and anxiety and all these other things, that can really kill a lot of people, man. That can really overthrow you, right? So you don't want to, bring yourself in your own counsel, right? Let me get this real quick. This is 2nd Chronicles, chapter 15. All right, we're going to get a couple more, too. We're going to wind down. It's 2nd Chronicles, chapter 15, and verse 7. That says, be strong, therefore, and let not your hands be weak. So we have to be strong in these last days. Don't faint. Don't give up in these last days, man. We are living in these last days, and you don't want to fall away, right? For your work shall be rewarded, right? And our works are going to be rewarded in that day, because we continue to keep the faith, the trust, right, and belief of the Most High, right, and His Son, and continue to follow after Him, right? Let's go back to Sirach. This is Sirach, chapter 21. I'm going to start at verse 22. It says, the blessing of the Lord, it's like the blessing of the Lord is in the reward of the godly, and suddenly make a man suddenly he maketh him or his blessing to flourish, right? So the Lord can, reward you because you continue to stay in that labor. You continue to follow after the Most High. You continue to put your faith and trust in Him, right? He can suddenly reward you, man, right? And make your blessing flourish, right? Come, let's go. Let's jump down. Yeah, that's the verse I wanted. Jump down to verse 25, and it says, in the day of prosperity, there is a forgetfulness of affliction, right? So in the day of prosperity, brothers want to keep this in mind. Brothers and sisters want to keep this in mind, right? When you're in your prosperity, you can forget, the things that you went through too, right? In your affliction. And then now you're just going, you're feeling good, and you just forgot about all the things that you went through just to get up to that point. You don't want to forget about those things, right? And that's what a lot of our people fall out. That's how a lot of our people fall out, right? As soon as they start being in that affliction, right? And they endured a lot in many years past. But soon as they come out of that prosperity, boom, they were like, dang, man, I just did all this. I endured, and then now I prospered, but now I'm back there again in affliction. Don't feel like that, man. That's all the process. You're going to be up one day, then you're going to be down one day. You're going to be down one day, then you're going to be up one day. That's the whole process, right? Just continue to endure, right? And in the day of affliction, there is no remembrance of prosperity, right? And even in your day of affliction, now you're going to forget about how you was up one time, how you was good, how you was, the Lord gave you certain things and so forth to show, you went through those afflictions and blessed you. But now you're forgetting it because now you're back in your affliction, right? You don't want to feel like that, right? So Israel, we got to continue to endure. We have to continue to, believe in the Lord, man. Continue to believe in the Lord. Continue to follow and put your trust and faith in him. Don't fall all of a sudden because you had a little affliction come upon you, right? Let's get this. Let's go to, actually, yeah, let me get Romans. This is Romans chapter 13. 13 and verse 11. It says, and that knowing the time, that now it is high time to wake up out of sleep, for it is for now is our salvation nearer than when we believe, right? So it's time to wake up out of the reality of thinking that, look, we probably got 5 to 10 more years. I'm gonna just go ahead and fall back to sleep for a little bit longer. No, you don't want to do that. Time to wake up out of sleep, man. Your salvation is right around the corner. Don't think that, the Lord is tarrying to come get us, man, to get us out of this place, right? Continue to follow after the Lord and stay awake spiritually, man. Don't fall back in this world and put the blanket back over you, over your shoulder, and turn back over and think you got 5 more minutes. No. The time is now. Wake up. Right? It's Revelation chapter 22 and verse 14. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have the right to the tree of life, and may enter through the gates into the city, right? So we have to continue to keep the laws, commandments of the Most High God faithfully, right? And not fall back in this world, because if you fall back in this world, you're going to receive death. But if you keep these commandments, you're going to receive the everlasting life, right? And you may enter through those gates into the city. So with that, I want to give all honor and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh Bahashim HaMashiach Yahushai, right? Most High willing that this video was edifying to brothers and sisters, and they look back at the things that they're going through, right? Look back at the things that they're going through and actually considering, the Lord is dealing with you. The Lord is really dealing with you for the things that you're going through now, right? Or even back then leading up till now. And best believe, right? If you're prospering right now, if you're not feeling nothing, sooner or later, something's going to happen. You got to perceive that. You got to perceive that affliction is going to come very soon, right? And if you're not going through anything, you really got to consider if the Lord is dealing with you. So with that, Kwame Yasharla, Shalom.